Vintage Japanese television from Japan unboxing. This was purchased by a fellow vintage television enthusiast named CJ, a younger... Would you, like, get out of the picture already? A younger member of the vintage electronics enthusiast community who has, I think, learned maybe learned a little bit from some of these insane videos I produce. And it's really good to see so many younger people getting into this interest, because the main lot of collectors are going to be gone in the next 5 to 10 years. So it's refreshing to see anyway. He picked this up off of like a Japanese eBay type thing, and I don't quite know how the shipping works. 10.3 kilograms. I'm not quite sure how the shipping works, but it showed up to my location via FedEx. So I have no idea what's in here. We're going to unbox it. Thanks to CJ for picking it up and having it sent my way. I have no idea what it is. I hope it's in one piece. And let's get it open. This dude here just really wants to get on the action here. He wants to steal the show. Or either that, he wants me to feed him. So let's see what we got here. We got... let's see, meat byproducts, water, poultry byproducts, potassium iodide, high fructose corn syrup, GMO corn, GMO rice, GMO cancer, titanium biophosphate. Doesn't that sound good? Look at this list of ingredients here. You think that thing was designed to run on all this? Not to mention the Alzheimer's flavored aluminum that the oh, it's purring. It can't wait to get its byproducts in. Here you go, dude. You are the star of the show here. So anyway, I don't plan these videos out. I just roll with whatever we got going on at the time. Could be a cat, could be the LAPD blowing up someone's neighborhood, could be an EOL, could be the stupid neighbor half a mile away that decided he would come across as an intellectual by taking all the mufflers and converters off of his car and making it so loud it wakes everybody in a 5-mile radius up every time he starts it. Could be an airplane, could be a helicopter. These are Radio TV Phono Nut's favorite right here. And no spoiler, I don't know what this is. But it was fairly reasonable. It was cheap, a hell of a lot cheaper to buy from Japan and have shipped here than it would have been from a USA seller. Well, there are broken pieces in the box. So... of the only half the knobs are broken off. Not too bad, I guess. Of course, that's kind of depressing. Kind of like that portable collapsing folding VHF channel knob. So what do we have here? Here's the knobs that got broken off. Okay, we have it's a Toshiba. Let me get it out. Hopefully, you know, some super glue. I hate super gluing stuff. Okay, I found this. Hopefully we can glue that back on. What I'm doing is ooh, it's a public TV. Toshiba Public 12. Again, this is from Japan, made for the Japanese market, so a few of the channels are going to line up. I think like 10, 11, 12 line up somehow, I forget. It's going to be 100 volts, not 120. But yeah, it will, and it's a Japanese NTSC format, which is compatible. Like I said, only a few of the channels line up. But it's still quite amazing. I mean, if you packed something this crappy and sent it via UPS, it would just be a box of glass dust. Toshiba Public 12. Interesting that they call it 12 as in 12-inch. Sold in Japan to Japanese people for the Japanese market. So I will not have any service date on this because the Sam's PhotoFax that I have are for American consumer electronics only. So we're just going to kind of have to just roll with it here and see what happens. I mean, it's a Toshiba, it probably works. But anyway, we're going to open it up before we power it up because obviously there was some shipping damage. And this is just, you know, for America, this was your little typical kind of 70s era black and white kitchen TV. Should try and get the little translator app going on this. Let's see if we can actually do that. Power supply, 100 volts, 12 PTU. So let's open it up. So let's see here. No adjustment of AGC. The machine uses keyed AGC. High performance TV when installing, no adjustment AGC. I need a damn magnifying glass to even see this. No adjustment. So, okay, it does not have AGC. I wonder what this... What is this right here? Passed the inspection. That says passed the inspection. Okay, let's see if it passes my inspection. We had this discussion on a previous Japanese market TV I did a video on that, you know, why is the text for vertical linearity height, why is the text for the controls in English? And that's sort of a mystery to me. Maybe it's, I don't know. You know, all this all the text molded into the plastic is in English. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's too difficult to try and print this. It's also interesting, it says it has keyed AGC here, but it's got an AGC adjustment, so. Okay, well, it looks like some of the vacuum bulbs got repositioned. And of course, these are all vacuum bulbs that I will not have and will not be able to easily get. L1X2, I have that. That's a high voltage rectifier. 5GH8, I have that. Okay, but the... Boy. Maybe I could shake a little bit more. That would be kind of cool, huh? So the CRT is a 310 EWP4. Horizontal output is 16C-B28. That's a new one. Damper is a 12R-K19. Yeah, I kind of like the shaking thing. I think it's... Oops, I didn't see that. This bulb got beheaded. What the hell is that bulb? Is that some keyed AGC thing? Why is it on its own little standalone 3CB6? What is that? Yeah, there it is. It's an AGC amp, 3CB6. I think 6CB6 is a common tube, but not 3CB6, and this is just completely out. I hope this didn't get waxed. The getter still looks good. Wow, that's an original Toshiba tube. That one is still in there. That was not easy to get back in there. I'm really surprised they were able to knock that out and not break it. Want to inspect the solder joints on the bottom here. Interesting how there's little red paint dots on every solder joint. Like somebody went through and checked every single, inspected and checked every single solder joint on this. See that? There's like little red dot marker dots. I love how they have the fuses and the fuse holders here. If this was a Philco set, it would have some unobtainable resistor kind of like this. Fusible resistor, and yeah, this is a little bit baked out, isn't it? These solders are a little baked right here. Baked. I don't see any... Oh yeah, there's one right there. Those are those gray tubular capacitors. Those are either problematic or not problematic in a set, and I know that sounds entirely too intelligent, but you'll find a set where none of them are bad, and then you'll find a set where all of them are bad. So it's... Yeah, these things tend to suck. 2.2 UF. So we have our beheaded tube here. I am tempted to power it up with that like that. As long as the filament is good, we could probably work around that. I would also like to inspect the high voltage rectifier, which I believe is inside this little door behind these two tubes. And how do you get to that? So what do we got going on here? twist the resistors that are in series together to bypass them to adjust the focus or width or something. Here's our Translate app. Okay, you got it for a second there, dude. When the horizontal swing is small. So okay, so you twist these together, you just twist them together and bypass them to adjust the horizontal width. That's kind of cool. Looks like it's about $10 with shipping, which I think is about what the whole TV cost. Let's see what this says while we're playing with our toys. High pressure caution. High pressure caution. See, I've been telling you it was a high pressure vacuum bulb the whole time. Same people that don't believe the earth is not flat are the ones that think these things are filled with vacuum. So we're using our dim bulb, which we have a 200, I think this is. And we're using the Variac. And we got the flies on display here. And we're using the voltmeter on AC volts across the line to the TV. So we have 2 layers of protection. We have current limiting, up to 35 volts there real quick. Let me make sure that... See, here I go. Here again we got vertical hold brightness. I get to see the comments. It's not. There we go. So 30 volts. We're going to just creep up slowly on this thing. And as long as that tube the filament doesn't go open, then the set should fire up. I mean, so the AGC is not working, you know. But it looks like the tube is available. I might even have it. It's a weird... Sure doesn't seem like there's any load here. I went to DC volts and I came over here and just clipped onto that filter capacitor and I got 56 volts, which seems like we're not getting tube filaments. God, that thing looks kind of baked inside, doesn't it? So I'm going to come up a little bit more. So now we got 80 volts on the filter capacitor. You know, maybe this tube was broken prior to it being shipped. Wow, that's original Toshiba too. Ooh, electron tube, imagine that. So in case you're not familiar with vintage tube televisions of this era, or for whatever reason, all of these tubes are the filaments, the little heaters that heat them up and make them work and glow orange and make pretty for my pleasure, are in series. So if one of them is bad or open, then the circuit's interrupted and none of them get power. In fact, I think it does not show the flow here. Some of these, they show the actual. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little piece of wire and jump across the filament on there and see if that completes the circuit. I think I got that little jumper in the right spot. Here we go. 95 volts on the filter capacitor. At about 75 volts on the variac. Still no action from the light bulb. Well, maybe it's getting a little warm. Oh yeah, they're glowing. Ooh, I hear the vertical. I hear the vertical. Oh. Well, it's bound to happen sooner or later, right? No picture. Okay, so I'm at 90 volts on the variac minus whatever drop is across the light bulb. So I'm going to go up to 105 volts. That's giving us 106 volts on the, and now the light's starting to come on. Oh yeah. So I believe we probably have an extra dead CRT here. But it's starting to wake up. Going back to measuring the voltage on the TV, we have 90 volts. So there's 15 volts drop across the light bulb. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down, and then I'm going to bypass the light bulb. So there we're right at 99 volts. And so that's 99 volts on the variac. Oh yeah, it's waking up a little bit. Nice. It'd be nice if I could find this tube, then we could watch some TV. So we could probably make a bucking transformer with this. Y'all know how to do that. So it looks like this is like an HVAC transformer, I think. This is 120, 200, 240, 480. So I'm going to assume that black and white are 120. So I'm hooked up here to the secondary. So yeah, I got 25 volts on the secondary. So that means if I phase invert, it'll take 25 volts off. So see what I did. Yeah, I know I need to draw this, but I connected one side of the secondary to one side of the line. And I got it backwards. It's 147. I need to reverse it. Now it's boosting, it's not bucking. So if I reverse either the secondary or the primary, it will buck. Okay, I flipped yellow and blue, and it's bucking down to 95 volts and then 96. That's probably a little low for this TV. I really need like an 18 volt transformer, not, well, 20 volt transformer would be ideal, but maybe an 18 volt transformer secondary. But you know, this, I could hook this up and it would give me, it would feed the TV 95 volts without all this other variac crap. So, and a lot of times with the bigger TVs, what I'll do is I'll take 10 volts off the line. So I'll run them at 110, not 120. Really extends the life of these old sets to lower the line voltage a little bit. I dug out a little 12.6 volt filament transformer. It's 12.6 volts center tapped, so it's two 6 volt windings. And here I got it set up in the bucking configuration. You can see I have the line connected to the two black primary wires, just as you would. And then I have one of the primary wires connected to the secondary. And so you can kind of see there visually how I have that connected. This green wire here with the yellow is a center tap. So basically, if I move that green wire to the other black wire, then it would add 12 volts. But the way I got it configured here is it's removing 12.6 volts. So I have, coming out of it, I have a line voltage of 106 volts, which that'll probably drop a little bit when I load it with the TV. And I found a 3CB6, actually a Japanese made tube. 3CB6 made in Japan, so this TV should not feel violated. So with the TV, I put the new tube in there. With the TV hooked up and turned on, it looks like our line voltage is about 105, so it's 5% high. That's not too high, not as high as these damn airplanes. Actually, it's coming down a little bit as it warms up and loads the thing down. So yeah, it looks like a 12.6 volt transformer, you know, pulls it down pretty good, and 2 amps should be more than sufficient for that little thing. And this is sloppy, and this is line voltage, so this would make the majority of the vintage TV and radio community absolutely cringe that I do things like this. But I have no fear of 110 volt line voltage, which is probably not what everyone else should have. I've just been doing this so long that I know not where to stick my fingers and get hurt. So, you know, if you're going to build something like this, you'd want to not just twist the wires together and leave line voltage dangling out like this. This is just for a nice visual example. So yeah, I think I tend to make a lot of the vintage radio repair guys absolutely cringe with the way I do stuff, but hey, it's the way I do it. So do as I say, not as I do. So before we put some nightly news propaganda on this, I need to spray these controls. Also, I mean, this is... Also, it's obvious the CRT is very weak. It's too bad this is dented. Toshiba Public 12. I can't get over that. Is very cool, though. Very well built. I know you can't even see it because the CRT is so weak on this set, but I wanted to go over the channelization a little bit. So you'll notice on here that this is channel 1 through 12, not 2 through 13. And channel 8 on the Japanese set is the equivalent as channel 10 United States. So this is the over-the-air converter box right here. And, you know, all this stuff, consumer grade stuff, is only channel 3-4 output. So channel 3-4 does not line up with anything on there. So what we need to do, what we're going to need to do is feed video and audio composite into this rack modulator here, and I've used this before, and I could just use the blonder tongue, but this already has a preset channel 10, 14, 8. So I'm gonna feed composite out of the converter box into the professional rack modulator and then into the Japanese TV. Channel 1 seems like it's in our FM band. Yeah, that's how dim it is. I'm going to try and straighten out the geometry a little bit there. Let's see what we can do here. The circle should be round. That's what Fisher-Price taught me. So is that a little better? Good, now we're ready to watch some propaganda news. Got to get them vaxes. Got to get those masks. Got to keep it going. We're like over a year into it and there's no sign of it going away. I guess I could try something else, but dealing with the copyright stuff, you know, that the news gets around that. And I don't know, whatever, but it's too much trouble to deal with Content ID and any kind of other shows. Okay, so this is it. The CRT is weak. One thing you'll notice is there's no buzzing in the sound.
And nowadays, COVID on the rise in LA County and across the country. The latest on the push to get more people vaccinated, plus what to do if you're not sure your symptoms are COVID or a common cold.
A deadly shooting in downtown Long Beach.
There is no common cold.
Into gunfire.
And the so-called dating game killer who may have murdered more than 100 people dies while waiting execution. And good Saturday evening, everyone. I'm Chris Holmstrom.
And I'm Rachel Kim. Welcome to KCAL 9 News at 8, streaming live on CBSN Los Angeles. The alarming new data involving the coronavirus pandemic is fueling a new push to inoculate the most vulnerable.
Yeah, the LA County Public Health Department today reported another 2,600 new confirmed infections.
It's just what it is now.
With nearly 700 hospitalizations. We're now at a level of high community transmission. KCAL9 Jake Reiner shows us what is being done to reverse that.
No buzz in the sound with the text.
When you're ready, we're here for you.
On Saturday at a pop-up mobile vaccination clinic in Lamert Park, hosted by St. John's Well Child and Family Center, a push to convince those most susceptible to catching COVID to get vaccinated.
We've administered approximately 280,000 COVID vaccines and don't plan on stopping anytime soon.
The state can't make you get a vaccine, but your heart should be telling you that that's the thing to do.
State Senator Sidney Kamlager, LA Mayor Eric Garcetti, along with
I'm
other
not even
going to
comment on
there
that.
As well to offer their support.
That line of brilliance.
This battle is not over, and we need each one of you to help us get there.
It's about community leadership, leadership of the people, to make the decision that their friends, their neighbors.
The absolute lowest. The absolute lowest vaccination rate are the blacks. Gee, I wonder why.
16 have been vaccinated, with young black and Latino men having the lowest vaccination rates in the county. Devon Gathright and his brother Deshaun each received their first vaccine shot, but they also received a little incentive too: tickets to Six Flags and a $25 American Express gift card.
I'm down for it, you know.
You just got to pay me to do it.
Which is exactly what Dr. Ali Jamador, who is the medical director at St. Mary's Medical Center in Long Beach, is trying to do. He said he's seen a spike in COVID hospitalizations, especially over the last week at his hospital, and is touting the vaccine as well.
It's not just for prevention. It's when you do get the virus, your symptoms are much less. You don't need to come to the emergency room. You don't need to be in the hospital.
It's important to point out that while there is a large group of people that refuse to get the vaccine, just simply don't want to do it, there is a percentage of people that cannot get the vaccine for medical reasons. And for those folks, Dr. Jamador says they should avoid indoor areas, crowded areas, but if they have to go inside, wear a mask. I'm Jake Reiner, KCAL 9 News.
A local nonprofit group was at Houghton Park today with incentives it hopes will convince more people to get a vaccine.
Incentives.
Long Beach Forward was giving away $10 in cash Starbucks gift cards, and credit at a marijuana dispensary.
That's right.
They would go and get vaccinated, come over here,
Get
and
your
we
smoke
would give them
on.
directions to this dispensary.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the dispensary would verify their eligibility by seeing their vaccination card and also ensuring that they're the appropriate age to be able to get it.
That's right. Jabs for joints, or joints for jabs.
Long Beach Collective Association.
As the COVID-19 summer surge prompts new concerns, vaccinations and masks remain the focus of nationwide controversy and debate. With talks of boosters now, that debate is expected to get even more heated. Correspondent Michael George shows us.
In Burbank, California, workers are converting a floor of this hospital back into a COVID-19 ward.
In a lot of ways, it's been like going backwards.
Nursing manager Chris Rice says only about 6 weeks ago, the hospital held a celebration because it had 0 COVID patients.
But after the 4th of July, which is when all the family gatherings began to happen and all of the restrictions started to get
Okay, well, I think we can be done with this. I mean, this is just what it's going to be, you know. I mean, I need to find something to use besides the news on these videos, you know, but the TV works, so, you know, it's too bad the CRT is kind of weak. You know, the picture's kind of soft and blurry and dim. It's very dim. You can see how dark it is out here. We're using our professional modulator on channel 10. We're going into, well, that's off, but we're going into 8 on the set. The little number ring slipped there. Could take a look at the inside. See the glowing vacuum bulbs. Pretty cool that it doesn't buzz and hum like the American sets do with the buzz-o-matic detector. We got our voltage bucking transformer there, cutting our line voltage down to around 105. It's getting warm, slightly warm.
CBSN Los Angeles for continuing coverage of the pandemic, the spread of the Delta variant, and ultimately our road to recovery.
The Coast Guard and others are searching the waters off Seal Beach and Sunset Beach for a 35-year-old missing fisherman. He disappeared from the Sea Queen II, a 100-foot commercial fishing vessel anchored in the area.
Might have a little bit of a weak horizontal output tube. I notice it's
a man has been
on
arrested and charged with felony kidnapping. Authorities say he took a woman from a bar in West Hollywood. 50-year-old Fernando Diaz was reportedly seen carrying an unconscious woman to his van early Friday morning. Witnesses say Diaz had left a bar on Melrose Avenue near Robertson Boulevard when he drove away in a white 1997 Dodge Ram van. A witness was able to flag down a passing sheriff's department patrol car. Diaz was arrested a short time later. The woman was not hurt, but sheriff's deputies are asking for any witnesses to come forward. Well, now to the western wildfires that just continue to burn out of control.
Yeah, crews from California have now been dispatched to Montana to assist in the massive firefighting effort there. But the nation's largest wildfire is in the heart of the Pacific Northwest. The Bootleg Fire in Oregon has now topped 400,000 acres, and it's still growing. In fact, officials say it's expanding by about 4 miles every day.
And along the border of California and Nevada, we're talking about the Tamarack Fire. This fire is also growing. It has now surpassed 65,000 acres. Some people have already packed up. Among them is a homeowner who also works for the local park protection district, and she said that she's ready to help others evacuate as well.
So once we got our own family settled, we would make sure that we had our radios and all the things that we needed to respond to any medical emergencies or fires in our community.
And also tonight, a major interstate highway 395 remains closed.
Here in California, the Dixie Fire is now the largest in the state. It's burning across 2 counties, Butte and Plumas, and it's scorched more than 180,000 acres. More than 4,000 firefighters are also there. Down here in our area, we started the day with a foggy morning. Then the sunshine kind of gave away to some haziness, I think. Chris.
Yeah, a little bit. Olga Spina joins us now. Olga, definitely much cooler today than it was the last few days, and I love it.
See if we get a dot with this one.
Yes, a lot of us are
Not really.
trend, and here's a look at those numbers outside. Very comfortable this Saturday evening.
Probably has a
We're
dot
looking at
killer
plenty of
circuit in it that
70s for the most part.
shunts it off the ground. Anyway, that's the Japanese market Toshiba. Very cool set. Glad this was shipped to me. I'm going to get some super glue, fix the knobs, and I'm going to put this in a spot where I might actually use it occasionally. I don't know. I do like the fact that the sound does not buzz, but the other headache with it is that you have to use a modulator that puts out different than channel 3-4, which is standard for consumer grade stuff.